All right, Chairman and Commissioners, we are live. Just a couple things. Please remember to speak directly into the mic as it's not a spatial audio. Any public speaking, we'll need to speak directly into the mic for the record, please. And you guys are live. Thank you.
Thank you, Tessa. If there's anything that not coming in clearly, please just interrupt me. Good evening, welcome. This is regularly scheduled public hearing. This is speaking Valencia County Commission for May 20th, 2026. See who we have here. Chris, would you give some pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we should put the agenda before this evening. Are there any changes on both commissions? No changes and recommendation to approve the agenda presented this evening.
So moved.
Sorry, have a motion for Commissioner Gary, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on motion for second? There be none, Commissioner. Yeah, Commissioner Bell, your vote? Yes. Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, stands approved. We have one set of minutes from our April 29, 2026 business. Any changes to those minutes? Being none, recommendation please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion for approval for Commissioner Bell, second by Commissioner Barry. Discussion on motion is second. Being none, Commissioner Richardson vote? Yeah. Commissioner Bell, vote? Yes. Commissioner Barry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker vote? Yes. I vote yes, according to. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to our public comment this evening. Again, if being that we're in this new environment, we need to make sure that all of these feed directly into the microphone. Again, you'll have your 3 minutes. There'll be a buzzer that goes off at the end of your 3 minutes. And ask you that time to sit down. And again, we ask that you abstain from any clapping or any other engagement during public commentary. We'll leave that up to the person, whoever may be speaking at that time, and that they have their full time to bring their issues up to the board, and that we respect everybody's time. So thank you again for that. First, we got Jessica McDonald.
And Mr. Chair, as Ms. Jessica's going to walk up, all the folks that are standing at the door, there are still a few seats available here inside here and right over here in this area too.
Good evening, my name is Justin.
There you go.
Good evening, my name is Justin Montano. I want to thank you once again for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you in reference to the Los Angeles Boulevard extension with possible routes through Arona and Ochoa Road. We've asked the county commissioners to be transparent with us, so I think it's only fair that we be transparent with you. We started with 225 residents meeting in an alfalfa field, worried about the loss of our property, our lifestyle, and most importantly, our heritage. Since then, we've held several neighborhood meetings and now have planned monthly meetings as we move forward. We've organized ourselves. We have formed task force and committees in order to efficiently have our voices in our community heard and work towards a solution. We have one group that is our community outreach task force. This group ensures that our neighbors know about events, public meetings, agendas, issues, and outcomes. The goal is to keep our neighborhood informed. We have another task force whose responsibility is to outreach to media and political representatives in our state. This group's goal is to inform our surrounding communities. We have formed the Preserve Our Heritage Community Board, establishing a 501c3 so that we are legally recognized and able to receive donations to effectively operate. We also have a team of people on our research task force. These individuals have worked extremely hard to gather data, information, and documents, explaining to us how we got to this point, options we have moving forward, and the best way to maneuver through this process. My neighbors are going to speak to you this evening about much of this research. We have safety concerns about Los Lunas Boulevard coming out at Hyde Road onto 47. The research team has uncovered options for future phases that would include a route directly to North Hill Cerro Loop, which is ultimately our neighborhood goal. Our research team has also uncovered population data that is outdated, suggesting that new studies be conducted before moving forward with the East Side extension. Tonight, we are asking for your representation. You are the only local governmental representation that our neighborhood has. We are not represented by the city council of Los Lunas. We don't want to be, but that means that you are our representation. While we understand the parameters of your authority, we do acknowledge that your incredible amount of influence. We are formally asking for you to be thought partners with us as we explore alternatives. Thank you for your support for your constituents as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Monica Honeyfield. And again, if you'll just all state your name for the record, if you, first podium.
May I pass out?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's two packets for everybody else. To back up Jessica's statements, we have lots of research. First and foremost, I would like to approach you guys with an apology. I misspoke at our last meeting. I presented myself to you guys personally and apologized. I did not understand, nor did many of us in the meeting understand what was spoken and decided on. So I apologize for that. Again, as Jessica was saying, we are looking to you guys to represent our community. And as a woman of faith, I know many of you are men of faith. And we know that with forgiveness, with an apology, forgiveness, but also that route also comes with acknowledgement of what was wrong. And we're asking you so deeply to please pair with the village, if we can, rectify those wrongs in the past, to move forward and make Los Lunas a viable and effective community. Creating roadways that are ineffective, that we have to make big U-turns to get down, it's just not smart. And you'll see this with what we're saying. We're talking about population, we're talking about alternative routes, we're talking about bettering the community as a whole. And again, asking you please to partner with us in this situation so that we can get out of our community, so we can effectively preserve the heritage and the value and farmland that many of us have grown up with. I have a lot written down, I'm not good at reading stuff, so I'm gonna end with that, but we do, again, with this, we have so many people tonight that are gonna speak on the population, on the roadway, the effectiveness. And we're just, again, we're asking you guys to be your allies, and I hope, and an apology helps. And that you would trust in us in what we have built. Like she said, we have over 300 members that show up to a meeting once a month, that people are committed to coming to these meetings twice a month. The council twice a month, as well as zoning. We're committed to this. We are committed to making sure that Los Lunas can be built effectively. We're not opposed to growth. Just don't take away what we've earned, and let's not make a lack of a better term, what the village has created. You cannot get the discount. We cannot effectively commute to this. So please consider these options. Again, many of us will be speaking on it tonight, and probably in the near future. So hang on to that. Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Maria David Alvaro.
Dear Commissioners, my name is Maria David Alvaro. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today and represent my neighborhood. And following Jessica and Monica's message, this is a summary of the items that we as a neighborhood has
compiled, and we would like to share this in as for my intern. We are urgently requesting your attention and support regarding the current design plans for the Los Lunas Boulevard and Highway 47 intersections project. As currently proposed, the design creates serious public safety risks, restricts access for local residents and businesses, and appears inconsistent with both the spirit and the intent of New Mexico engineering and transportation standards. The present design proposes a dual lane configuration where the Luna Boulevard exits onto Highway 47 from the west side of the highway. This design significantly impacts residents and property owners on the east side of Highway 47, specifically along the Gall Road and Lamar Road. Under the current plan, this road will only be accessible from northbound Highway 47 traffic. Southbound traffic will have no direct access to this road. Residents attempting to travel south must drive several miles before finding a legal U-turn opportunity. Left-hand turns from Gall and Lamar roads onto Highway 47 will be prohibited. Emergency access, school transportation, local commerce, agricultural traffic, and daily commuting will all be negatively affected. The proposed race medians and restricted access patterns create additional safety concerns for residents, large vehicles, and first responders. These concerns are not merely inconvenient. These are public safety issues. Section mapping, subsection A of 16.39.8.9 and 9 clearly states the engineer or surveyor shall at all times recognize their primary obligation is to protect the safety, health, property, and welfare of the public. Additionally, the New Mexico Department of Transportation State Access Management Manual 18.31.6 NMAC regulations required roadway access points to safely accommodate the largest vehicles expected to use the area under current zoning and land use allowances. Key requirements include safe accommodation for large commercial, agricultural, and emergency vehicles. Proper turning, radar, and roadway design to avoid interference with highway traffic flow. Preservation of safe and reasonable access for all directions of travel. Future-proofing infrastructure to avoid costly redesigns and unsafe conditions later. And that will.
That's your time.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Next up, we have, Maria Clee.
Mr. Chair, I just want to, Peter, there's about 6 seats up here if anyone wants to sit down.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Maria Clee. We come to you with some data points from the report given to you all. The Los Lunas Corridor Report was created in 2010 and 2011 by the MRCOG and included population predictions from the U.S. Census figures. The prediction tables and maps were then carried over for the next 15 years in subsequent plans. Interestingly, Valencia County as a whole actually lost residents between 2010 and 2020 and has only gained 5,800 over the last 5 years. Of that 5,800, they live primarily in the village of Los Lunas. In section 2, the purpose and need showed in 2008, the total population of Valencia County is 79,884 and predicts an increase by 2035 of 160,000 people. In July of 2025, Valencia County only had 82,100. It seems the study grossly overestimated the population growth. The studies for the areas east of New Mexico 63, east of Manzano Expressway, have not been done from 2026 forward, but even if there was a new study for population, based on the inaccuracies of the past, the new information could only be called a guesstimate. The 2022 Valencia County Comprehensive Plan shows Valencia County had a population of 76,484 in 2016 and predicted a population of 81,451 in 2040. This low figure was due to declining residents in 2017, 18, and 19. Again, average growth from 2020 to 2025 occurred mainly on the west side. There is no evidence of the population in areas east of 263 to be growing at this rate. Planning or even justification for a new road highway to our neighborhood has been based on these predictions. Other important factors include transportation planners suggest that when commuters are given new parallel alternatives, the strong majority will stick to their traditional, most direct routes. A sensible long-term solution is to widen North El Cerro Loop from Main Street to El Cerro Mission Boulevard with turn lane configuration that increases safety. The Morris B alternative to Highway 47 will increase traffic to Highway 47. However, also including the Morris B alternative will provide commuters an option to travel to North El Cerro Loop. Highway 47 can then service traffic south of Berlin and Rio communities. The usage of both Morris B and D alternatives provides solutions and do not compromise the expansive and extensive road through an existing neighborhood.
Thank you. Okay, next up, can't read the last name, Jose E.
Rodriguez.
That's you.
That's me, yes, sir.
You'll just state your name to the record. of the
Yes, I will.
Thank you, appreciate that.
My name is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. And I live in Ponderosa Farm for the next 36 years. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, thank you for the opportunity. I presented and had this in at the last meeting at Parish, okay? So you all have that hopefully in the minutes. So I'm gonna go into all the points of this. They've given you all my printed names and they've given a lot of statistics and that's important. But I was talking about that day and I hope this is one of the 18 options that you have in your mind or that are going to be given to the eventual voting on this thing. I was talking about the northbound Mazama Express runs into Meadow Lake, way out there close to the Fort Santa Parish, you know, and it runs right down again back into the village and so on and so forth in our communities. I was just asking and giving you some options there that it's about a 5 to 6 mile run on the edge of the BLM land, all the way to the edge of tribal land, because you can't go into tribal land, we all know that. And this is a big old connection there between government and that 50 years. And I don't think we can rely on that forever. And besides, I don't think it would happen. And anyway, so that was my presentation that day. And you would have less private homes and property that would be affected. The homes that you're looking at right now, where some of the options are very expensive. Not only are they expensive, but there are families that have been there for many years, historically speaking. And I said that day, what I would like to see is that someday my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids will come in and take over and help out in this county and still living in the city. I don't like the city, never have. I like this county. And again, thank you for your service and thank you for the time again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, next, Comrades.
That phone around here. Chairman, Commissioners. I'm not talking about roads, talking about item 10, Soy Health. I implore you guys to try to get this property from Soil and Water Conservation District. The place is a valuable resource for this county. Assessed value of the building is $284,000. To destroy them just for I don't know what, they don't give a reason why, just destruction. To me is criminal. There was a huge stakeholders on the place. Mr. Aragon used to go there, work with the horses when he worked with the vets. I took him out to see the property. The commissioner very often see it. Taking the assessor, a whole bunch of people, everybody says, why destroy this property? The valuable asset. And for them, just, I don't know, out of spite or what, they want to do this, so it's wrong. Originally, I wanted to try to make a transitional living center for seniors and disabled. I've heard other things, troubled youth center, overflow for the animal shelter. I mean, I don't care what goes in there, something to protect the property. You need to try to get the buildings and 8 to 10 acres so you can expand off what you originally start with. We're not asking the county for any money. We talked to MFA, you can get a $500,000 grant. You can't buy land with it. You need it for an infrastructure. I work with the Men's Recovery Academy. These guys kick butt on work. I mean, the work they do is amazing. And they're all ready to go.
So we get the money, we can get the labor to fix it. And do something with this property, it should not be destroyed. Well, the one lady said something about everything's growing on the west side. I live in Meadow Lake. Next to where my gate comes out on Meadow Lake Road, last fall I had 4 new residences come in, right there. 4 in a row. Place is growing, the east side is growing, Meadow Lake is growing, Yosera is growing. Everything's growing out there, we do need another road, Meadow Lake has 1 road. We need another road, I'd love to see another road. We have no access, there's 1 road. Former commissioner said, oh, it's up to heaven, go just cut the fence and drive over your field. You know, yeah, I got fence cutters and a 4-wheel drive, but a lot of people don't. So we would love to have another road. So if you don't wanna put the other road, then we'll take it. Thank you.
Hey, next up, Daniel Skinner.
Everybody's fair, commissioners, I'm gonna be short. I'm here for action item number 10. The acquisition of the Amsoy House. As we all know, here in Valencia County, there is such a need for housing. Homelessness is parents, behavioral health, and mental health issues are all over Valencia County. Acquisition of the property will enable our community partners to work together to address these issues. I I'm the coordinator of the Community Wellness Council and represent 100% Valencia Initiative here in Valencia County. And as such, would bring forth the support for this initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Sam Heather.
Good afternoon, my name is Sam Adams. Sure you guys remember me from the last few meetings. Gonna be a squeaky wheel probably about the same thing. And ongoing until the road comes out on Highway 47. What I'd like to really iterate is that I'm very much explicitly against anything except the no-go option with improvements on the now north and south loop. What I want from you is a plan on keeping traffic out of the Otero and Roma roads when that road comes out on Highway 47. It's the most direct route to get to the backside of the loop. So people that are going to either Meadow Lake, El Cerro Mission, anywhere up on that mesa are going to come through our neighborhood. They're going to speed faster than they already do coming through our neighborhood. And there's no plan in place. There's no current traffic study for the current traffic, much less based on the numbers that the Valencia County Bulletin put out of how many cars you guys think are going to use that road. If even a quarter of those people come through Otero and Aroma Road, there's no infrastructure for those kinds of heavy traffic patterns. And we don't want lights. We don't want stoplights. We don't want sidewalks and huge medians. We want our community in the way that it already stands. And right now, the traffic coming out on 47 here High Road, the most direct route, is going to be coming down with Terrell. I'd really like to see a plan to keep that from happening. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, next up, Lindsay Lawley.
Good evening. My name is Lindsay Wallace. I live in Berry Hill Farms and our home is adjacent to Arona Road. I'm here in opposition of the East Side Extension alignment. I am a registered professional civil engineer in New Mexico and in Arizona. So I understand how easy it is to just base your decision solely on the numbers and the data provided to you by your engineers. Let me provide you with some perspective of what's actually behind those numbers. We distributed a voluntary survey, and at this point, we've gotten back responses from 26 homes which include a total of 45 schools. Of those 45 individuals, 60 are over the age, 60% are over the age of 60 years old. And 100% of those over the age of 60 indicated that this is their forever home. This is the home they thought they would never have to leave, maybe a home that they could pass down to their children. In fact, 91% of everyone of all ages that responded to the survey indicated that this was their forever. The number of years living here, anywhere from 3 years to 47 years. 47 years. The average is 20 years, 2 decades. The ages range anywhere from 17 to 91. The vast majority of people said that they were not able to relocate. And that's just from the ones that have responded so far. Although several of those who have responded live directly in the line of fire, many responded were in the vicinity of the alignments. That tells you that the impact goes much further than the number of affected parcels reported by multi-corporate. It tells you that all of our homes and our livelihoods could be destroyed, all for the sake of potential of traffic. I ask each and every one of you respectfully to put yourself in our shoes. What if your taxpayer money was used to force you and your families out of it? What if the people that are supposed to represent you fail to consider how detrimental this would be to your community? Could you look the person that is 91 years old and has lived here for over 41 years in the eye and tell them that they have to move? The numbers from the engineers you hired do not come with a heart that is attached to each one of those. Thank you.
Next, Gail Goodman.
Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Dr. Gail Goodman. I live in Los Angeles. I'm speaking as a community member only. When I first became active in New Mexico politics, what impressed me immediately was how accessible most of our legislators were. We could meet them and they would actually listen to our concerns and ideas. I had no idea this was the topic tonight. That's an empowering feeling. Representative government works, my vote matters. And I want to thank this commission for not only listening, but acting on projects that have community support, like the Expo Center, and for consideration today, the historic Amascoy House. With these two projects, Valencia County has a tremendously exciting opportunity to create a state-of-the-art site for multi-use, inviting people and their animals, as well as planning uniquely inviting, water-wise, pollinator, and bird-friendly landscaping. And with the Amascoy House, a restoration project that can attract national attention as a zero-energy design building, welcoming to populations in need and those who serve them. However, this beautiful building is not yet safe from demolition. Meanwhile, I just want to thank you for the responsive, open-minded engagement with this project. These projects will do so much for our community quality of life and make me so happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next name, I can't read, I'm gonna think, yes, maybe the first name is Dean. Okay.
Not sure, Commissioner, are you gonna speak on the zone change?
Yes.
The zone change will be added.
Okay, have another name, have no clue, it looks like maybe a CW ward or that. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next two names, and if you signed up for public comment, I didn't call your name, and that's gonna be you, so I'll get you at the end. Okay. Next up, Kathy Santos.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Kathy Santos. My property on 2112 Drive backs up to a normal road. And of course, I'm here by extent. 41 years ago, when my husband and I chose this property, it was our children. Then let's cut our lives here. Now we are facing this expense and with the cost of take a quarter of an acre of our property. You know, our taxes will be devalued if this happens, as our properties will, but our taxes will go up. Have any of you driven through Corrales? They have a 2-lane road through their community, 6.7 miles. That is almost twice the length of the proposed routes, for the most important. 2 lanes, not 4 lanes monstrosity as proposed. As a, 1/4 of an acre is not much to the developers that are pushing for this road. Well, let's say one owns 100 acres. A quarter of that is 250 acres. Or 10,000 acres, that's 2,500 acres. That is a lot of property to lose. Begins to make a little more sense why we are fighting those routes through our neighborhoods. I'm not an engineer, but common sense says that's why the existing roadways before taking property from small landowners like myself and my neighbors. Safety is another big concern. How will fire trucks or ambulances get to us in an emergency? With the bull banks proposed as improvements to Highway 47, not allowing left-hand turns, having to go to Berlin safely and make a U-turn to get back to our neighborhood? Will not matter? I know others feel the same way. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up, I believe is Jolene Kennedy. Kennedy, so that. Is there 2 people that have signed up that did not call their names? Okay, we'll go ahead and close our public comment this time. Thank all of you. Okay, commissioners, item number 5 on the agenda is commissioners, reports, anything anybody wish to bring to the table? That's that.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to just welcome everybody to our sheriff's training room. This is where your deputies do their very important training to make sure everybody is safe on the safe out there in the community. They do a lot of scenarios in here where they may be approached by somebody in a dangerous situation and de-escalate those and do those in appropriate ways. And I've been a part of those trainings, watched them. Our officers do an amazing job. It takes that, it's having a place like this to be able to do those trainings that allow them to, get it right. There's very, very high stress situations where, I've watched and thought how I would attack that particular scenario, and I did it wrong in really early time. So our officers or deputies, they go through extensive training often, and thanks to the taxpayer that we're able to have a building like this, that they're able to do that and keep you all safe on the out in the community. So I'd like to thank you, the public, for providing this building. I'd like to thank the sheriff and her staff for allowing us to use it for this evening tonight. That's a little cramped, but we like also being able to show the community the buildings that they own and what happens in those buildings. So this is where all that training goes for our officers. Thank you. Our only report tonight is going to be from our emergency manager, Sarah Jones.
Commissioner. Tonight, I want to briefly introduce a project that has been underway since the fall of 2025. The update of the Valencia County multi-jurisdictional housing mitigation plan. This plan is a document that identifies the natural hazards facing our communities, assesses the risks that we are most likely to encounter, and lays out specific actions we will take over the next 5 years to reduce future losses. Maintaining the current FEMA approved as a mitigation plan is what keeps every jurisdiction in this county, local, federal disaster assistance, mitigation grants, and post disaster recovery fund. That includes Valencia County, the city of Lynn, the villages of Austin Farms, Los Lunas, and the town of Fulton, the city of Green Communities, the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District, and the Valencia County Soil and Water Conservation District. 8 participating partners working together on a single individual plan. To support this work, the county contracted with the Mexico Training and Exercise and Plans, who is the Mexico, is a Mexico-based emergency management consulting firm led by David Merritt. New Mexico Training and Exercise Plans keeps and brings experience in the FEMA mitigation planning. Our FIRE, which is our threat hazard identification risk assessment, and the technical work required to meet 2020 FEMA local mitigation and planning policy guide. This project was funded through the Hazard Mitigation Grant, subgrant DR 4652-0007 IM. Following the post-fire wildfire flooding disaster declaration, we have completed 2 of the 3 planning team working sessions, finalized the risk assessment, and now are in the public engagement phase. A bilingual public survey is open through the summer, and a public review draft will be available for comment before final adoption. We expect to bring the completed plan back to each participating governing body formal adoption in early 2027. I appreciate the commissioner's continued support for the work that Mr. Marriott and the county has put together. Mr. Merritt is here tonight and available to answer any questions you may have. I've also provided a handout which has a QR code. This has the community assessment attached to it. If everybody can take the time, we've only had 32 respondents to our survey. It's important to gather everybody's opinions and comments and feedback on what we're doing with this plan. But this plan affects not just myself, but the whole town.
Good evening, everybody. My name is David Barrett. As Sarah alluded, I'm the contractor helping put this plan together. I want to take a moment and talk to everybody in the room here. So far, what I've heard from public comment is you guys are very engaged and very passionate about your communities. Our survey, it's out there. You'll see a QR code. As Sarah said, we only have 32 respondents. I implore everyone in this room to share that survey. Get your family, get your friends, get everybody you can to fill in that survey. It's not very long. It's designed to capture what data we need to help move that plan forward. It asks you about if you've been affected by a disaster. What type of disaster? You've been involved in the fires, if you've experienced drought, all of the different things that we have through the fire process identified as our top hazards. It looks at those. So please take the time to engage with that survey and get your voices heard at this, because it will help shape what we've been doing with that plan and what we will do in the future. I will be here for a little bit longer if there's any questions. So sorry. I will be here for a little bit longer if there's any questions. Also, if there's questions beyond this evening, Sarah has my contact information. I would be happy to come back and chat with you anytime.
Any questions? Chair, please. So last year we had the Red Cross, probably not this subject, we had Red Cross coming in with the emergencies, haven't got the shelters where they can come. Get it set up right away, get all the contracts and all that stuff, where our emergency shelters could be activated.
I make arrangements every wildfire event or red flag warning that we have. I make arrangements with my local shelters to put them on standby in case I have to call for opening up the shelter. So that is a yes to your question.
So we have the contracts in place for them to come set up the shelter, not us shelter. We're talking about the Red Cross.
I have to physically open that shelter, and then I will get a hold of the Red Cross to come in and
And. They're all up to standard, what they gave us, yes.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I think, this is, just a perfect example. The county goes through a lot of these planning sessions, they start out in very, at a very basic level and they get more and more intense as we go. And like Sarah said, this is at the public input level and we've got this thing, advertised everywhere and we still only have 36 respondents. So, the county is making these efforts to do these public outcries, but, we need people to come get that message out. So I highly recommend to the folks that they have a 300 member group to help us, you got 300 people, you can get another several thousand with just sharing it, you all sharing it with just one person. So, if you don't mind taking a shot of that, screenshot of that, QR code as we leave, and just share it, complete that survey. I was a part of that initial training session, with the contractor and it's very accurate to what our disasters are here in the county. It really opens your eyes and it definitely needs that input from the community to see what you guys are experiencing during those disaster times, specifically fires and flooding here. So yeah, if you can take a snapshot as you walk out of that door. I think we've got a vertical proxy shelter, correct? Oh, you got them, right, Jennifer? Cool. Right here on this desk, if you just take a shot of it, it'll be available for you, but we'd appreciate you sharing it with us if you can.
Just one more thing to add, the last planning cycle that we had in 2021 for the previous plan that went live in 2022, we had over 200 respondents to our community outreach for the survey. So I would like to surpass that this planning cycle.
Thank you.
Chairman.
Thank you so much. Anything else, Tom? Yes, sir. Please.
Commissioner Chairman, at the 2029 April 29th meeting, I announced the resolution number incorrectly at 26-28. Actually, 26-29. 26-29 should be 2026-30, and 2026-30 will be 2026-30.
And you have adjusted those to this need? Have you? Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and move on to our action items. Item number 6, approval of the individual report. At this time, I need a motion from the board, adjourned Board County Commissioners and reconvene as independent board choice. So move. Motion from Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Richardson. Any discussion on something in a second? Commissioner Richardson votes. Yes. Commissioner Dodd votes. Yes. Commissioner Berry votes.
Yes.
Commissioner Parker votes. Yes. I vote yes. Okay, I believe, we're going to take this.
Yes, sir. Definitely not as lovely as Miss Garcia, but I'm gonna attempt this for her. We really encourage our employees to get out and take care of their family events, and she is attending some graduation procedures. So congratulations to all the graduates this year. We're hoping you all have a successful lifetime. So the following is a summary of activity for the month of May. 46 claims were submitted for individuals of the public in the amount of $12,853.78, of which $5,244.94 is being submitted for consideration. 9 claims were submitted for individuals of the detention center in the amount of $103,775.03, of which $7,302.46 is being submitted for consideration. We've had 5 appeals in the amount of $1,149.44. So 55 total claims were submitted in the amount of $13,746.84 for your consideration. the May 2026 Roadrunner Health Services Detention Center medical contract payment is $58,806.18. So tonight, the total amount for consideration from the indigent fund is $72,607.02. And as of May 12th, 2026, the indigent fund balance sheet surplus is $1,849,857.32. And I make recommendation for it.
Any questions, Madam Chair? Being none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second. The motion for approval for Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Barry, any discussion on the motion in the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson vote?
Yeah.
Commissioner Gonzalez vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker vote?
Yes.
Yes. At this time, I need a motion to adjourn as indigent board of the convening and Board of County Commission. So moved. Second. As motion by Commissioner Barry, second by Commissioner Richardson, any discussion on the motion in the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman vote?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman.
Hang on one second, sir.
Okay.
Let me just.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Just a second. Item number 7, consideration of intergovernmental agreement with the Mexico Department of Health for the city's readiness initiative program. Ms. Gill, go ahead.
Good evening, good Chairman and Commissioners. I bring before you the interstate consideration approval for the state New Mexico Department of Health intergovernmental agreement with the city's rating initiative agreement. Number 26 IGA 3050-000-3501 FY 2026 through FY 2029. This contract will be in the amount of $63,000 for the full agreement and $15,000 for fiscal year. Contract terminates 6/30/2029. Are here before you consideration of approval for the county manager to sign and authorize supervisor and fill out the field council. The information on the background of OCRI, Valencia County has been a community partner in the city's rating initiative program that sets a point of distribution during the time of pandemic and distribution and mass prophylaxis and vacation and additional fund. Valencia County is working with MSA, Metropolitan Statistical Area in the last 3 years in the city's rating initiative. They Valencia County Office of Emergency Management publicly did an exercise for Department of Health and for the Department of Health and exercise that was to test the all the aspects of the Mexico Department of Health on the exercise on the organic phosphate poisoning. We went through it, we went through our actions yesterday and today, and this morning, we actually had our exercise turned into a real life event. All the CRI partners were actually participating in the exercise, and we were able to actually be activated and be a participant in being able to handle and contribute to the incidents where the county. With the signing of the intergovernmental agreement FY 26 and 2029, the contract will be amount of $62,000 for the full agreement. The only thing that's required myself in this agreement is I'm given deliverables throughout the year, and it's usually just my participation in those deliverables that we get paid those funds, that fund. I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Gill? Being none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion for approval for Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion in the second? None, Commissioner Richardson vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
Again, to approve. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, as you all sign that, I want to thank Sarah for during this item, and then also explaining what the letters mean. If you've ever been in a room full of emergency managers, they speak in letters, they do not speak in words. And we're all trying to figure out what the heck is going on, but, thank you, Sarah, for, explaining what NSA and CRF.
Item 8, approval of the resolution participation in the transportation project fund program. Mr. Silva.
Mr. Chairman, and the Commission, good evening. For the record, we are requesting consideration of a resolution for the New Mexico Department of Education Fund Agreement, 307. An extension for the East Side Extension Study. In November of 2023, the county was awarded a total of $750,000 to study that outlet for an East Side roadway extension from the proposed BOP near 1047 for the anticipated Los Lunas Boulevard River Bridge. And the project originally had a conversion date of June 30th, 2026. However, due to additional activities needed by the President program to facilitate the remainder of the study, the county did submit a request to the Department of Transportation for an additional extension of 1 year. The NMDOT has considered the request to extend the agreement for an additional year with a revised date of June 30th, 2027. In addition to the signed resolution, a revised agreement must be endorsed by the Commission. This particular project, the Valencia County did receive disbursement in full from the New Mexico Department of Transportation. As of June 2026, there is anticipated to be approximately $200,000 remaining on the grant, which will be rolled into the fiscal year 2027 budget for utilization. With that said, we respectfully request consideration of this item and stand for any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Silva? None, the resolution, question? Absolutely.
So this would be for all, 18. Including the North El Cerro and the new build, well.
Yes, Commissioner, I'll take the question. So we did have a meeting with him today in preparation to address a question like that. I just wanted to give a timeline sequence of events for the next year in the event of this. So essentially what would happen is the public comment period would continue to the end of May. That public comment would be assessed by Muslim program, and then they would complete their A&B study phase. Their mission is to narrow down those 18 routes to a smaller number, and then the anticipated action after that would be come back to the public in 2027 to further discuss some of these narrowed down routes, because there is, as we get into the deeper identified routes, the level of study increases, right? There's items that we're probably not to factor into the study a little bit, talk in detail about the bridge, right? When the bridge does come, that's another opportunity in which county will need to study. So what is the traffic doing? Right now, the bridge has terminated on 47, that's those applications on that to like to encapsulate all that information and make it a true study as been requested from the community. It's very, very best to see. So with everything that has been conducted and versus as we program are ready to kind of segue into fiscal year 2027 with the same momentum. You know, we're definitely not any type of design or construction period anytime soon. There's still heavy evaluations, studies that are needed to get close to
Do we have a roundabout when they're gonna timeframe for when they're gonna get those best routes?
Yes, so we're hoping to be back early 2027 with those narrowed down routes from the 18 that are proposed to a small. So like I said, early 2027 is the anticipated date. In which facilitated a note to the meeting and then presented on to this board via a final report at the end of June.
Chairman, Commissioners, I'm sorry to interrupt. Hedmias, if you could just speak a little bit louder, you're coming in a little bit muffled.
So just so the public knows, they're gonna have a public meeting before they come before us to disclose all that stuff, so they get, the public comment will have their say before it even comes to us.
That is correct, which is why the QR codes and everything that we're talking about, which is currently open, it's very important that the community utilize that resource because of the voice is very important, especially with projects like this.
Any other questions, Mr. Silva?
Mr. Chair, yes, thank you for all that information, and as Molson and Corbett, been line of communication with the organized group that we heard about tonight.
So within that conversation today that we had with Molson and Corbett, a suggestion of a stakeholder group was discussed. So to kind of hear that suggestion from the community, I think it's something that we could get back to Molson. They must have been hearing, right? So I think that's an additional opportunity for Molson to strategically incorporate community members that can further disseminate some of the information that's being about. So in addition, we are discussing with Molson Incorporated and our IT department on a widget on the Valencia County website that can be clicked, and then all the general basic information associated with this study, who, what, when, where, why, a sequence of events. That way, interested residents can review this, obtain any information, and then still have an opportunity to submit some type of public comment, feedback. So in looking what the village of Los Angeles did with their project, it started small, and then as the project made progress, the website started facilitating with more information, additional resources, public consumption. So we are definitely working with Molson on the open line communication, and we just want to make sure that the community is heard and capture as many as public comments as we said with this.
Thank you.
Any other questions, commissioners? None, recommendation, please.
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion for Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Berry, we discuss on motion and second. None, Commissioner Richardson vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor vote? Yes. Commissioner Berry vote?
Yes.
Martin vote? Yes. Yes, approved. Thank you, Edmonds.
Thank you, Commissioners, this resolution is 9.6-32.
Okay, item 9, ratification of ENNRD agreement, Mr. Silva.
Chairman, as mentioned, again, we are requesting consideration to modify the state of Mexico Energy Mineral and Natural Resources Department grant agreement number GSA 26-521-0800-02150. In December of 2025, the Valencia County Grass Department did submit an application to enter in partnership with New Energy Equity and PNM for funding in the amount of $713,000, $784. To construct the Manzano Feeder Grid modernization update near the north end of the Manzano Expressway. On April 28th, the county was informed that an agreement was being considered, but the agreement needed to be signed and returned to the secretary's office by May 1st. The agreement was signed and returned, the agreement which was signed and returned is being brought to this commission for ratification. The agreement terminates on June 30th, 2028, and the county will work with New Energy Equity and PNM to coordinate the project scope of work and the deliverables system. Total awarded amount of this grant agreement is $1,713,784 with no match being required. Invoices shall be submitted for reimbursement to vendor on a quarterly basis. So this is for your information, commission. The proposed work is being done near the solar field on Manzano Expressway, just south of Cypress Gardens. That particular modernization upgrade is done to facilitate the expanding communities that are anticipated to start happening on the side of the community. So the solar folks have recognized this and want to make sure the grid is suited and able to accept communities, be able to pass on some of the solar from these fields to the residents here in Valencia County. This particular project is anticipated to be done by the end of this calendar year, December 2027. We have already coordinated with demand as far as how we're going to contract with them to do the actual work. But this is a fantastic opportunity again, and just meet the demand of what we're envisioning. So if there's any other questions regarding this opportunity, by staff, please.
Any questions, Mr. Silva? None, recommendation, please. Chair, I make a motion to approve. Second. We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Fidel, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion in a second? None, Commissioner Richardson, you vote? Yes. Commissioner Sally vote? Yes. Commissioner Barry vote? Yes. Commissioner Parkman vote? Yes. That's approved. Okay, item 10, approval of resolution directing staff to explore the potential acquisition and use of the historic Hanscom House property in the land. And we got this potato for this presenting this. Surprise.
Mr. Chairman, of the board, you heard from the public earlier, and particularly from Dr. Goodman, expressing support for the claims acquisition of the historic Hanscom House in Berlin. You have a 4-year resolution directing staff to move forward with securing, negotiating, and having to secure that property. Can I stand for any questions to the vote?
Any questions, Mr. Potato Fisher? The recommendation, oh, sorry, please.
Mr. Chair. I do want to echo Dr. Goodman's comments and former Commissioner Adams' comments. This is a great opportunity for this asset to join Valencia County, right? There's many operators, there's many different groups who are interested in using this. And we've heard from some of them who are excited at this potential. So I look forward to a fruitful meeting between the county and Soil and Water to see how we get a hold of the next steps and what we can do to bring this asset to the county. So thank you.
Any other comments or questions, Commissioners? All right, you got the recommendation, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve as presented.
Second. There's a motion for approval for Commissioner Parkman, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on the motion in a second? Commissioner Richardson vote? Yes. Commissioner Sally vote? Yes. Commissioner Barry vote? Yes. Commissioner Parkman vote? Yes. I vote yes, it's approved.
Yeah, Chairman, making this legislation, it's 1.6, yes, 73.
Okay, item 11, also approval of resolution, local bars, Manager Ariel. This.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In front of you, you have several local budget adjustments. These budgets have all gone through the county process. They've been vetted by our assistants, finance director at Seaboard County, as well as our entire team. You can see at the end of each bar, there's a description for the necessitates the particular bar. Everything is within EFA requirements. This is these local bars are approved by you. There's no need for EFA approval. But we still process some of the things so that they do it. Just something to go along with this. So we've been going through this process and we searched for a finance director and you know, kind of working through our team and recognizing their strengths. I just want to let you all know how impressed I am by our staff. They have just really stepped up. Our Shiro, who is doing this bar work as well as our reporting right now, is just showing like some major leadership, as well as Josh Finney from our grants department. They are really a wealth of knowledge that it works to reporting, and I'm so grateful for their leadership and just working through this time is where we can for a finance director. Our Mr. Lee from Seaboard County has also shared the same sentiment. So I'd like to thank everybody that's just been working so hard in the finance department, as well as the rest of the county that is just, you know, really stepped up in this time that we need them. So I look forward to this going right process with everybody, and I recommend approval on these workforce.
Any questions, Manager? Recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, move to approve.
Second. We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Gazelle. Any discussion on the motion in a second? And Richardson vote?
Yeah.
Mr. Riley vote? Yes. Barry vote?
Yes.
Mr. Parker vote?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, thank you for this resolution. Six dash 34.
You guys get it, like.
I can go ahead and jump in for you.
Okay. All right, item number 12, 2028 through 2020, I'm sorry, 2032, infrastructure capital improvement plan. And
Mr. Chair, we becoming pros of this particular process. We've already done it once this year. But this is a normal process that we go through. It's required by the state to get these items in for the coming session. Our legislators like to know what are important to the county's list of projects, and this is how they fund many of the projects that happen in the county. We work usually to identify a top 10. Many times this top 10 stays there until it's fully funded. This past session, many items were able to either move lower on that top 10 or come off completely as they've been fully funded or the project's been completed. So what we bring to you today is staff recommendation. This is very close to the final product that you had. earlier this year. And with just a few minor movements. So I would like you to take a look at this. We've actually nailed it down all the way to the top 20. But you're more than welcome to make adjustments as you see necessary. We just figured we'd start, give you a good starting point. So the grade and Linda will be sitting there at the computer, making any notations that come up. And I can name off the top 10 if you'd like. Number one is the Valencia County Administration Rehabilitation Project. Over the past several years, there have been studies on our current administration building. It's most definitely aged, but the architects have deemed the structure of the building very well built. There are just, definitely some upgrades that need to happen within that building. As many of you know, the cost of trying to build something brand new these days is outrageous. Building's pretty historic in its location and its use, and I think it'd be a benefit to the community to stay in that building and just bring it up to today's times. Have a nice meeting space for community to come to these meetings and all that. So that's item number one. Item number two, our sports complex and fairground facility in Valencia County plan, design and construct. If you recall, last session that deal had not been completely completed, and we were still funded within that line item. So now that the county fully outright owns the fairground facility, I know there's a lot of interest from our legislators to continually fund that and hopefully fund even more than they have. It's becoming a really fun project to work on, and I'm excited to bring those renderings as they come to the commission and community to see what our fairgrounds are eventually going to look like. It's great. Item number three, renewable energy for county facilities. We are trying to update the energy, the renewable energy in most of our buildings. As you know, energy prices are expensive, and our buildings are big, so it takes a lot to run them. We've started out to fit many of our buildings with solar capabilities. The sheriff's building just in front of the one we're in has solar capabilities, and this adds to that. Item number four, public safety and first responders communication project. This is one of those long time items on this list. This just counts the first responders that we would communicate about the county in dead spaces and everything like that. Item number five, road department and heavy equipment purchase. As you know, talked about it tonight in public safety. We've got to keep our equipment up, purchase new equipment as old equipment ages, and so that's a very important purchase there. Number six, Valencia County Sheriff's Office armored tactical vehicle. Unfortunately, with population increase, so does violence and the need for vehicles like this. This was presented by the Valencia County Sheriff's Office last year. It was kind of a late entry, so it didn't necessarily make the top 10, but the legislators were very interested in this item because it is a one-time purchase, so it's not something that's funded over several years. So I think getting it here in the top 10 will be successful in obtaining funding for that. Item number seven is the judicial complex renovation. Over the years since the building on Morris Road has been built, we've had to renovate that, and we are now at the HVAC portion of that renovation. HVAC's extremely expensive to put in, especially on a building that big. And we've been very successful at getting funding for that particular building. So that is item number seven. Item number eight is the new fire department on Highway 6. As you all know, there's a big gap in between Las Lunas and Highland Meadows. The response time's been difficult due to traffic. So we've been working with a landowner in the rail park, to develop a fire department site there. So we're looking for funding for a building, and, the roadway off of Highway 6 to get to that one. Item number 9, Highland Meadows Community, Senior Center Plan, Design, Construct, and Furnish. As many of you were there, just this past month, we had a grand opening of the park in Highland Meadows. The community was ecstatic about that. It was a great moment for the leadership here, as well as the community to get together and cut the ribbon on the park. Now we're looking to work on the community center. There's already a space for the community center. We're just looking for funds to complete that entire project. And then rounding out item number 10 is the Valencia County School Corridor Safety and Improvement Regional Project. As you all recall, we recently worked on a GRT share program with the Village of Los Angeles and Meta. There is some funding planned in that GRT share, but we'll need to do some improvements and upgrades prior to that funding coming in. So that is why this is still in top 10. We do have a funding source, but that is still a very important item to this community and getting the lights and improvements to that road out there on Monson Links Expressway. And then you can look through the top 20 and see if there's anything that you see needs to be moved up, but that is the recommendation.
Commissioners, any questions? Back toward you, that thing, is there anything that you wish to add to that?
Yeah.
Do you have a mic? Sorry about that. Why don't you hang out there for a while to get this question? You're nothing to add at this time?
No, I don't.
Okay. Right, commissioners, any questions of Manager John or Ms. Benzies regarding the ICIP or any other changes you may wish to discuss?
Mr. Chair,
Please.
I would like to move number 28, the fire department replacement apparatus, to number 13. We've been spending a lot of money on trucks and stuff, and I want to make sure that firefighters have the equipment they need for the whole county.
Sure, they're done.
Yes.
Any discussion on that recommendation? Okay. Any other recommendations, changes, questions? Oh, I want to make sure that you guys have added any other questions or concerns or changes. Sir, I know you asked a question. What was your question?
Just can you explain the extension? Item number 12 currently, the public word road extension Los Angeles Boulevard.
That is the extension project that's currently on our list. That's one that people are discussing tonight. That is to continue the well, you know what, I'm gonna let Lee answer that. I don't know if it's part of the design and study, I believe.
Yes, that is correct. It's part of the design study that the folks are here speaking about tonight. It's the same project.
Plan and design, that's the last part.
Construction.
Cut off.
Should be constructed. Yeah, it is constructed. I'll just need to spread out the.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did that answer everything for you, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioners, anything else? Any other changes? Any other questions? Ms. Benavides or Manager? Okay. Appears there's none. Manager, is there anything you wish to add to this?
No, sir. We look forward to having Lena send this in to the state. We'll be working with the folks in the state to get any questions that they may have regarding these project lists lined up so that we can present them, or they can present them to our legislators. So we'll do the same when we have our normal legislative meeting in and invite them to come to discuss these projects.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please, sorry, I had one quick question. Number 11, obtaining water rights. There's no cost on that. Do we know? I know this is for the Parks and Rec Department. Do we know, we have any idea how much water rights we're looking for? Or
Did something,
quantities?
We don't know quantities just yet, we're looking for Highland Meadows, that project, this is gonna be an ongoing project, because we don't have water rights in Jordan County. So right now, we're gonna budget it about 200,000 a year, and then just continue it on from there.
Any other questions, commissioners? Yeah, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve with the amended change.
second,
We have a motion to approve with the amended change, and I believe that's moving item number 28 up to number 13 and everything else down there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Motion and second for that. Any discussion on the motion and second?
Mr. Chair, please. Do you have a discussion?
I'm sorry, I didn't see.
No, actually, this was just for the public hearing, I don't know if we're just gonna jump into approval, or,
That's correct.
yeah,
It's correct, it's further down off the.
I mean, I'm okay with you bringing it up for that, I don't know. Oh, that's weird.
Okay. We need to ask for public comment this time. Okay, sorry about that, guys. This is a public hearing, so if there's anybody in the public that wishes to have any input on this before we take a vote on that, you're welcome to speak at this point. You can approach the microphone, state your name for the record. Okay. Being that, recommendation, please. Well, I guess we can, I'm sorry, Mr. Richardson, you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Pizzari vote? Yes. Mr. Berry vote?
Yes.
Mr. Parker vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, that is approved. Okay, item number 13 is the 2028 to 2032 infrastructure capital improvement plan for the Older Americans program, and we have with us Ms. Avia.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioner Affairs and Commissioner. The board today is in the request to approve the resolution to adopt the 2028. That's what I say, 2032 ICIP for OEP. Priority list should be in your packets attached. There are 5 items listed. I'm gonna stand for any questions. Number 5 does state vehicles for OAP. We have also applied for a grant through NMDOT that we're waiting approval. So at some point we may be able to use that money and add something else for OAP as time goes on.
Being that this is a public hearing, would you please go through your top 5 requests?
Yes, sir. So number 1, project title is to furnish and equip the Meadow Senior Center. And the scope is to furnish and equip the senior center with Highland Meadows for $400,000. Project title 2, plan and design the renovation for the Valencia Senior Center. To plan and design for a kitchen expansion, new walk-in fridge and freezer, flooring, loading dock, serving line, and accordion door to accommodate activity. Project 3, the Meadow Lake Senior Center improvement, to purchase and install an exterior digital informational sign. Project number 4, as I mentioned, the Valencia Senior Center is a vehicle upgrade, and I might add that even though it says Valencia Senior Center, it does service all of Valencia County and all seniors and 5 centers that we have. And the last one is project title Del Rio Senior Center flooring replacement to remove and replace the existing vinyl floor with a high quality durable floor. So again, I stand for any questions.
Any questions with the committee?
Mr. Chair, did we ever get the title straightened out for the Glen Senior Center? Who owns it?
I will go to Mr. Primo to see if he has any information. I thank you, Dave.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I do not recall
the outcome of that. It's been several months since we even looked into that, so I will look into that and get back tomorrow.
The last I heard it was the National Guard, right?
That's correct, and we had communications with the National Guard, I don't remember where that left off, so.
Okay.
But I will look into that and get back to you, sir.
Any other questions, Mr. Chairman? Please.
Let's not get into that. So number one, we have Larson Quick behind the Meadows Senior Center, we want to see that area. So should we move that one down in priority?
The request is, of course, we can do that, I think we're trying to get it all together at the same time.
Okay. Okay, yes, I didn't want us to get that funded, and we don't have it.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, anything else? If not, I'll open up to the public. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to offer any comments on this, particular capital improvement plan to the America's program? Yeah, Commissioners, recommendation, please. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, item 14 is an ordinance amending chapter 110 of the Valencia County Code of Ordinances relating to the issuance of business licenses for required payment of property taxes. And, Mr. Nance, I believe you're gonna take this one?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just by way of a brief introduction. This ordinance as well as the next one were both initiated due to Senate Bill 96 this legislative year that had made substantial changes to basically child care facilities. On the legislature's goals, of course, to make it easier to have a child care facility. This particular ordinance, what that law did was require us to look at our ordinances and make sure that we are coming to compliance with the law. In doing so, pursuant to the law, this ordinance will exclude business for registration fees or licenses from being charged on child care facilities, which is required in Senate Bill 96. It also does a little bit of cleanup with our ordinances, since we took advantage of the opportunity to forward what is current county policy, but to enshrine it, which is to make sure that there's current property taxes paid, that property requesting a license is properly zoned, again, so someone requesting to put up a license for a nuclear power plant is in a residential district. And also to ensure that the proper department to collect the fees would be the planning and zoning department. The law is currently set where it would go through the county clerk's office, and we think that the fees for this type of license would be better served with the planning and zoning department as a source of collection. But this is open for public comment and discussion.
Commissioners, any questions or discussion on this? Mr. Chair, please.
Adrian, since there was a lawsuit filed against the governor and actually doing this with child care stuff, how does it affect this?
Good question, Commissioner Gonzalez. This does not affect Senate Bill 96. The specific lawsuit that I'm aware of, unless I'm missing one, of course, is regarding the implementation of universal child care. This does not affect that. The law the legislature passed is just dealing with the ease of creating new facilities, not regarding that. This doesn't have anything to do with the payment through the state general fund or other funds. Commissioner Gonzalez, I can add to that. So statutes are presumptively valid, and so until it's declared invalid or unconstitutional, it's valid, and so we are obligated to comply. So this ordinance brings.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions, comments regarding this? How about public? Anyone from the public wish to speak on a particular ordinance? Okay, we're good. We can take next up shortly.
If I might, Mr. Chairman, I would like to also add that this ordinance was advertised pursuant to the law in the newspaper as well as placed on the county's website.
Okay, item number 15, also an ordinance amending chapter 154 of the Western County Code of Ordinances. You got Mr. Baca. Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. For this evening is the request to review the ordinance amending chapter 154 of the Valencia County Court of Ordinances zoning amendment for childcare and multi-generational housing. This is related to what was just described by Mr. Nance. This is affected by the exact same Senate bill for Senate Bill 96. We did hear this and received direction from you on April 15th to publish, and we did publish and run this in the News Bulletin May 7th and May 14th. And if approved today, we'll also run it in 2 consecutive weeks following the meeting. And I do stand for any questions. Any questions, Mr. Bucker?
Sure, please. Amending this ordinance, essentially letting child care facilities, in any residential district, is there any limit on size of the child care facility? Like,
Chairman, Commissioners, as of now, there's no direction for any of the standards on that within the Senate bill itself. It basically allows it, so before, what we currently do as up until July 1st, everybody that comes to do daycare within a residential zone area, they have to come from the Planning and Zoning Commission and do the additional use to get approval for that. In that case, we did have a specific ordinance for daycare facilities, which set a standard. I would ask Mr. Nance and Mr. Vito to correct me if I'm wrong, but by doing this as an outright permitted use, I think it eliminates a lot of those standards that were required before, and as long as they meet compliance with the current zoning and the current residential use of the land, I don't think there's anything that I can enforce on this.
That's correct. I believe that Senate Bill 96 did take away our discretion in that. I will add that one thing that is left in our ordinance would still be we're not going to limit the size, but there'll still be a site design review process that will still be in there. And that's basically to make sure that the facility's safe. There's not knives and issues, but it still would be a permitted use in the district.
And site plans basically look at traffic, access control, safety of the surroundings, just that it meets the standards of that state district.
Yeah, I understand this is, we're gonna need to comply with state law here, but just want to know that I think this is allowing, making it so much easier. I think this is a good way to allow a bunch of fraud and so. And so, make it giving less oversight over, whether or not any of this.
That's kind of see a lot of our regulating powers for this and down to the state, that it does remove some of the power.
Right.
Okay. Commissioners, anything else?
Okay, anybody from the public wish to comment on this particular ordinance? Okay, we'll make a decision on this shortly also. Okay, we're gonna now with a public hearing where it goes for our zone changes now. Item number 16 is zone change number 2026-018. This zone change is for Ramon Pettis and Carlos Pettis are requesting the zone change. And the address of this property of zone change is at the corner of Silver Lane and Highway 314 here in Las Vegas. If anybody is going to speak on this zone change, give any testimony to favor of it or against it, I ask that you please stand at this time so you can be sworn in by our clerk.
You swear or affirm that this testimony you'll give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of law, so help God.
Mr. Bucket. Chairman, Commissioners, for this evening is a request for zone change number 2026-018. This is in District 1, Planning and Zoning Commissioner Aguilar, Board of County Commissioner Sykes, Ramon Perez and Carlos Perez request a zone change from Rural Residential District 2, RR2, to Rural Residential District 1, RR1, to split the property into 2 parcels. The legal description as read on the agenda, and this was heard by our Planning and Zoning Commission on March 24th. At that meeting, it was recommended for approval with a vote of 4-0. At that meeting, there was no one from the public present in favor or in opposition of the request.
And we did receive one letter of opposition from an individual with standing that did oppose the request. And that is included in your packets this evening. And so the presenters are here, they can present to you, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Baca at this time?
Thank you.
Gentlemen, if you'll, whether you, but you want, let's go first. If you'll just come up, state your name and address for the record.
Commissioners, my name is Ramon Perez. I live in Albuquerque, that's so.
Yes, please. If you can get close to, you can lift that.
2002 Foothill Drive, Southwest San Francisco. Today, this evening, came to, just as Brian mentioned, to propose the subdivision, zone change, on 314 Silver Lane, into two individual lots. The intent behind this request is to allow either myself or my brother, my dad, to build, the homes on the property, creating a shared family living space while maintaining affordable individual residence. The property in question is 2.76 acres in size. Our proposal is to rezone the parcel to R1 and subdivide it into two equal lots for approximately 1.38 acres each. We believe this subdivision zone change aligns with the surrounding neighborhoods with residential character and contribute positively to the community by supporting responsible development and family-oriented housing. We are committed to ensuring that all subdivision and zoning requirements are met, including compliance with infrastructure, access, utility provision. We welcome the opportunity to work closely with the planning department to address any considerations or conditions necessary for approval. I have done research for utility access in which there is sewer, gas, and water available on Silver Lane and also on Highway 314. Please let us know the next steps and review process, and thank you for your time and consideration.
Any questions of Mr. Pettis? And are you the property owner?
My dad.
Okay. So we make a decision on this after our executive session. I'm going to call, I believe it's your brother up next. Allow him the opportunity to speak. So again, if you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Thomas Pettis. I'll keep it short and simple. Just like my brother said, we wanna keep the family together. For the week, we're gonna get at his house, my father, my wife's, right? But, yeah, thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Any questions of Carlos? Okay. Thank you. And I don't believe that there was anybody else that was sworn in who wants to speak on this issue, so we'll again take a decision on this request for zone change after our executive session will be the end. Okay. All right, please.
This is a question for Ryan. Can you show us, and then just that map up there, can you show us closest RR1 districts?
So here is the property highlighted blue. So directly to the east is the municipal boundary line. So 314 splits the county, and east of that is municipality. There are similar uses on that side of the highway. Down Silver Road, there are a few properties that do have similar uses as the proposed request. And give me a second, and I will pull up the exact distance to the nearest RR1. Commissioners, the nearest RR1 district is approximately 2.5 miles south of the proposed request. That is the split with municipal boundaries and zoning between that. So it is approximately about 2.5 miles to the south of the subdivision. Questions.
Within that 2.5 miles, I think that you did say there were similar uses, but there's not within that
Yes.
specific zone?
Chairman, Commissioners, within, even on this same street on Silver Lane, there are properties directly to the north. The property has a similar use, which is what's opposite side of Silver Lane. It does have a property, a home built on the half acre property. Further down Silver Road, there are also a few half acre abutting properties as well with residential dwellings on them as well. Some of the municipal uses, I don't know if we qualify that as well, but directly across 314 within the village limits that are even further dwelling densities or heavier dwelling densities, I would say, that will be proposed use to those.
Commissioners, any other questions? No, that's all. Commissioners, anything else? Okay, again, we'll be making a decision on this after our executive session. Okay. Another zone change, 2026-019. It's a request for Flora Sanchez, request a zone change from outline district to neighborhood commercial. This can be out in Highland Meadows area on Highway 6. So, if there's anybody that wishes to speak either in favor or against this zone change, or if the applicant wishes to speak, I ask you to stand at this time so you can be sworn in.
You swear or affirm that this testimony you'll give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and the penalty of laws so help you God. Yes, sir.
Chairman, Commissioners, before you this evening is a request for zone change number 1.6019. This is in District 3, Planning and Zoning Commissioner Moran, BOCC Sparkman. Lawrence Sanchez requests a zone change from Outland District OD to Neighborhood Commercial District C1 with a conditional use to develop an RV park. Legal description as read on the agenda. Once again, this request was heard by the Planning and Zoning Commission on March 24th. At that meeting, it was recommended for approval with a vote of 4-0. As then the conditional use was also approved contingent upon approval of the zone change request. At that meeting, there was no one present. There was no one present with standing or in opposition to this request, or we did not receive any letters for this request either. The applicant is here and would like to share a slideshow with you this evening. And I stand for any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Bach at this time? Please.
13 Northwest, Los Lunas, New Mexico, 87031. And I just want to thank you all. I never realized how much work and time this takes for me to do this, so I appreciate all your time and effort for being here and allowing me to be here. Is that I'm a lifetime resident of Valencia, and I'm also a licensed real estate broker for the last 26 years. And I have seen it grow by leaps and bounds, just like most of you have. And I always tell the story to my kids that Wilson used to be a 2-lane road, and when we used to drive our cars through town and it was raining, all the cars would have to stop on the side of the road because our wires would get wet underneath. And we'd have to wait for it to dry out and then we could get going again. So from that to Facebook and Amazon and all this other stuff going on, it's really, we've seen a lot of stuff happen here. And with that said, I would like to propose an RV park because I looked at the whole community and I know 3 of my sons, I have 3 sons, and all 3 of them have used an RV park when they had to use it for work, with the union, traveling, just everything that they've done in their lifetime, they've utilized RV parks. And so we thought, how can we give back to the community and help our community? And I purchased 10 acres over 20 years ago. And so we met as a family and decided, you know, this might be a good opportunity to help other members of the community create what affordable housing and a place for people to be. So we like to do, you know, a little bit of both, maybe permanent residency, not permanent, not forever, but people can stay there long-term or short-term. And it would just help with the community and everything that's going on right now with all the growth. So the proposed RV park would be located on Duarte Road, east of Highway 6 in Valencia County, New Mexico. The project consists of approximately 10 acres with an estimated 80 to 100 RV spaces intended for both short-term and long-term stays. The goal of the project is to create a professionally managed, clean, safe, and secure RV community that supports tourism, workforce housing needs, and local economic activity within Valencia County. The project will begin with dry camping accommodations and continue through phases, infrastructure improvements, including a well system, septic system, laundry facilities, bathroom and showers, office and clubhouse, and storage facilities. The property may be fully fenced and gated with controlled access. The project will include the 24-hour on-site security and active management oversight to ensure cleanliness, safety, and rule enforcement. The project is expected to support local businesses, including gas stations, grocery stores, restaurants, repair services, and other businesses that benefit from RV travelers and extended stay visitors. The project also represents private investment in Valencia County and provides additional lodging flexibility for travelers and workers alike. The project has already received approval through the planning and zoning process. Thank you. And I remain committed to working cooperatively with Valencia County and neighboring property owners. That was done. This proposal is intended to provide responsible land use, economic benefit, and a professionally operated RV community that will positively contribute to Valencia County. And with that said, I have a little light show. If I can get it to work. Well, that was a really nice video. Yeah, but I do appreciate, any approval, and I really look forward to setting this up for our community and helping them. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah, commissioners, any questions on this action? Mr. Chairman, please. How long is long term?
I'm thinking anywhere from 8 months to a year.
Okay, I only asked because there's problems out that way already with people just illegally or legally just basically squatting, right? So
Exactly.
and it seems like you have a very thought through plan, but the issue there would be they're squatting, now there's an issue that you can't get them off, right, due to whatever legal nonsense there is. And then it becomes the center of where people can just go, you have a nice facility hooked up, you leave, or, you know, the bit of snow leaves or whatever happens. Right now, we're stuck with kind of like a homeless camp, if you will. So I'm just curious about, you know, what is your vision? You've laid out a very detailed plan, but I mean, what does enforcement look like? Do you have concerns about response times, getting, you know, if there is an emergency out there, getting emergency services out there, you know, and just kind of how do you envision this being used, more in the long term or in the short term, like pull in, we're working here for 6 weeks and we'll go down?
Right. So I'm looking at it more of a short term, is what I would prefer. Long term, I would probably even set up where they would have to leave the premises for a specific period of time and then return. And I'm looking at it from a real estate point of view where I know about squatters and people like that. So, yeah, it's very, very difficult once they're on property to get them off. So everything would be on contract and legally bound. That's
Fine. One other question, Commissioner, yes, what is the proximity to Highway 6 and I-40 there for the properties?
so it's about 6 miles. Mhm.
Fine.
There's a lot of RV traffic that goes through I-40 that are always looking for a spot to.
Oh,
to be
yeah,
able
well, we
to-
see them everywhere too, we're driving around and I've contacted some of the local RV parks that are here locally and they're at capacity and have opened us and there's just, yeah, there's no way for them to go, so that's why we thought this would be a good opportunity to have the community and create space for them to alleviate some of the issues that are quite on throughout the town.
Commissioner, please. Is there, there's utilities there, there's power, on the street there or something?
So there is electricity, but we will have to be running a lot, we're gonna have a lot of infrastructure, yeah. So we will start with dry camping, just to begin. And then after we start the dry camping, we'll start working into, there's like different phases, we'll have phase 1 and phase 2, and hopefully by early 2027, we'll be full on.
Anything else, commissioners? Okay, well, we make a decision on this after executive session also, so.
All right,
we'll
I
get those
appreciate it.
ones.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I don't believe there's anybody in the audience that was sworn in to speak on this, correct? Okay. Alrighty. Item 18. Solar field overlay zone number 2026-14, Mr. Bucket. And if there's anybody here that's gonna give any testimony, either speak of paper against this, I ask that you please stand up, so you can be sworn in.
You swear or affirm that this testimony you have given in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and the penalty of law, so help you God?
Yes.
Commissioners, before you this evening is a request for a solar field overlay zone number 2026-014. This is in District 4, PNC Commissioner Sublet, POTC Brazil. USS Mesa Sun Solar LLC requests a solar field overlay zone SFOZ on the property with the legal description as read on the agenda. This item was also heard on March 24th by the Planning and Zoning Commission. At that meeting, it was recommended for approval with a vote of 4-0. At that meeting, there were no members of the public present in opposition or in favor of this request. And this is one of the first ones on the new round for Mexico Community Solar. The next one was you guys saw it's going to be about 2 years ago. So this is round 2 that are being approved to get on the list to possibly be selected for New Mexico Community Solar. The applicant is here today and she would like to do a presentation for you this evening. Maybe stand for any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Bucket this time? And the applicant is, okay, I don't think you were sworn in, were you?
Yes.
Oh, you did, you said it, okay. Please go ahead and come up to the state your name for the record.
My name is Haley Valentine. My address is 1801 California Street, Denver, Colorado, 80202. All right, good evening, commissioners. My name is Haley Valentine. I'm here today on behalf of US Solar to request approval of solar field overlay zone for the USS Mesa Sun Solar Project. This project, if approved by the commission, as Ryan said, will lead it into the second round of the New Mexico Community Solar Program. First, just to introduce US Solar, we are a developer, owner, operator of solar generation and storage projects. We focus on emerging markets and community solar programs. We've been working in the state since 2021, and we've developed 27 megawatts of community solar since then. Each project ranging from 2 to 5 megawatts space. This includes the USS Meadow Lakes project, which is located on a parcel of state-owned land that's just east of Los Lunas on Meadow Lake Road. We have several local partnerships that are key to the success of our projects. These include local contractors that lead construction on all aspects of the projects, and subscriber acquisition entities that help to enroll local households in our solar gardens, so they can receive savings on their energy bills. In October of 2024, the PRC approved an additional 300 megawatts for the community solar program. The program is currently in rulemaking at the PRC, and we expect to see the RFP issued before the end of this year. So there are several benefits to the community solar projects and to the communities in which they're located. Instead of generating energy for the transmission system to be sent far away across state lines, these projects connect directly to the local grid. The energy generated by these projects will be used by homes,
businesses, and other entities in the area. On average, a 1 to 2 megawatt community solar project provides up to 130,000 of bill credit savings to low-income households throughout its operation, serving between 400 to 500 homes. Lastly, the project will help to utilize vacant land and generate additional GRT and property tax revenue for Valencia County. So here's just a high level, kind of pick from our, site plan. As Ryan mentioned, the current zoning is outland district. The specific project will be a 1.36 megawatt, solar PV plant. There will not be any batteries associated with the project. The access road will be on the south side of the project off of Tower Road or AT&T Road. The total parcel size is 10 acres and the project will utilize the majority of that 10 acres. So just a couple of key planning and zoning considerations. There will be a 35-foot setback from the public road as well as from all property boundaries. We have also adjusted the fencing from what was in our application per a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission. The fencing has been changed to a 7-foot chain link fence. The site will also be reseeded with a native vegetative seed mix. And this is based off of the New Mexico Department of Transportation guidelines for reseeding in a specific region of New Mexico. So as an owner and operator of our projects, we take a lot of pride in being a good neighbor, and it's our job to consider how the projects will coexist with surrounding land uses. The location of this project is carefully chosen due to its proximity to clean and distribution lines, flat topography, and lack of water features, including arroyos, floodplains, and wetlands. Additionally, this project sits outside of the Rio Grande Conservation District. Prior to starting construction, US Solar will have to complete several studies and obtain additional permits from the Mexico CID and the EPA. Studies will include a phase 1 environmental survey, geotechnical survey, and a threatened and endangered species screening. If any species are identified, additional surveys will be performed. Additional permits will include access approval from the County Public Works Department, Mexico CID permit, and an electrical permit, and EPA approval of a stormwater prevention plan. And consistent with the ordinance requirements, we acknowledge that commencement of construction of the project must begin within 24 months following board's approval. If unavoidable delays such as regulatory approvals or utility interconnection timing occur, we will pursue an extension for the guidelines of the ordinance. Now, construction for a project of this size typically lasts between 5 to 7 months. Once the project is operating, traffic and visitation of the sites will be limited to 2 to 3 visits per year for the first 2 years to ensure vegetation is established properly, and it will ensure that all equipment is functioning properly. After that, visitation will be limited to 1 to 2 visits per year. The site is monitored remotely 24/7. Ongoing site maintenance, vegetation control, and equipment upkeep will be performed by our operations maintenance team. We will have a vegetation management plan established for the project prior to construction as well. The procedures for weed control and watering needs while the native seed mix is established. We will also submit a traffic control plan to the Public Works Department to be used by the crews during construction. These projects are expected to be in service for a minimum of 25 years, and that's standard for all projects that are extended. And lastly, a decommissioning plan and estimate has been submitted to the county for this project, which outlines the timeline and process for end of life management. We believe that this project meets goals and requirements of the solar overlay zone. This project will advance the county's goals for economic development, renewable energy, and responsible land use, and it'll bring new jobs and investments for the community. I thank you very much for your time and ask for your approval.
Commissioners, any questions?
Mr. Chair, please, just curiosity, do you have any idea of what, how many of these projects are gonna be approved this time around? I know that in the first round, we probably approved, what, 30 of these? I think I know 2 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, so the program this round is slightly larger, so the first round of the program was 150 megawatts, I believe, and then this next round is 300, that was 3. We don't know yet if all 300 is going to be released this round of the RFP, so in this calendar year. The PRC could decide to do it in phases. I would expect to see a similar number, maybe a little bit larger, than previously that are actually at PRC.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. All right, yes, gentlemen, back here, that's this. Give some comment on that. So if you'll just take your name and address for the record.
Chairman of the Commission, my name is Gene Mix, I live at 145 which is back and straight across from my mom, solar panel. I'm opposed to it because I don't wanna look at solar panels on my front door every morning when I get up and look at my front window and see solar panels across the street from my house. So I mean, I don't know if you would want to be looking at your house, but I don't. And I don't, they don't benefit me, but how they don't benefit me, I've already hooked up in their power. So that's why I just, I mean, we need some reconstruction it for how long it takes to build it, 5 to 7 months or whatever. But then that's, their interest is gonna be straight across from me, because my driveway, people will not back up, my driveway is clear across from the. From that, so that's why I'm just saying. Plus, I also think in the long run, if there's solar panels there, if I decide to sell my property, it's gonna increase my property value, because who's gonna wanna buy a house where there's solar panels that are gonna be there for 25 years in front of their property. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Andy, if you also just state your name, address for the record.
Good afternoon, my name is Martin Valencia, 30 Opus. I live directly to the left side of this property where they want to put solar. I just bought 10 acres up there, I'm building a house, and I don't want to get up looking at solar panels in front of my house. That's what I moved up there for. And besides that, this company is coming out of California. It's not benefiting Las Lunas. I've lived here 40 years. So I don't see any reason why they should put a solar place in a residential area. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, gentlemen, my name is Robert Valencia, I own 133 AT&T Road. It's directly almost across from where they're building. Like the gentleman before said, these people are not from here. They don't live here. The people that own the property, we can go back up on that. They're from California. The company she just stated is from Colorado. No point of which is going to benefit Austin's. This residential area is, it's out in our district right now. We moved out there because we like the scenery. I understand they're gonna replant seed, but that's not gonna benefit anyone from us because those solar panels you can see directly across on I-25 right now. They're huge. This ain't gonna be no different from what they're gonna be trying to build up there. What's gonna do is gonna happen, it's gonna, allow more people to allow more businesses like this to come up there, where we don't want to see that. That's the point of us moving out there. We understand it's out in the district. It's immediately right off AT&T Road. I could see if it was out in the boonies where it wasn't, affecting anyone. It's gonna cause high traffic while they're doing their business for 6 to 7 months. There's no one gonna be there and maintain it. They said they're gonna remote access to monitor it, which is great, but it doesn't do anything if there's immediate emergency. Because they said they're gonna tie it to the grid, which they're gonna supply for Las Vegas. Well, to me, that doesn't benefit the people that actually live out there. That's amazing for, the whole town, but we can see where our solar fields already are. If they wanted to go ahead and, add solar, they should have jumped on board with the other solar project. These are big companies that are coming in trying to take out, our small community. We're out there for a reason. And I don't approve of it. I don't like that they're gonna try doing this out there. It's just, to me, it's gonna be an eyesore, and that's not what I wanted to move up there for. That's it.
To ask the other gentleman, but did you receive a certified letter regarding the zone change?
No, I did not.
But no. If you'll come back up, please. If I can get you to please come back up, but, again, just state your name for the record, indicate whether you did receive a certified letter.
Martin Valencia, 33 Opus. I did not receive anything in the mail. If it wasn't been for Dean, I wouldn't even know that this was going on.
I received a certified letter. Okay, would you just, for the record, state that, everybody can do it, please, I apologize for that. Your just your name and whether you received that notice.
Yeah, I didn't see the certified letter.
Thank you. Ben,
Did you want me
to say it again, I didn't.
No, you were fine. You got yours recorded. I feel fast.
And I do know that a lot of the community that lives up there, if they would receive a certified letter, they would have been here as well, because we just went through this in the last commission meeting. That, you know, a local resident was trying to open a commercial business on 18T Road, and that was denied as well. You know, because we move up there for a certain reason, and, you know, the solar is just not it. One, it doesn't benefit us, you know, directly, and two, it's to profit people that don't even live in this community. So I could see if they lived here, if they lived across the street, if they were benefiting from it, if they owned it for generations, but they don't. They're not from here, they live in California, and the company that's living it is qualified.
And the other, how you wish to address any of the concerns that we stated.
Sure. So I just want to clarify that is the nature of the community solar projects, like what they are exactly. So the community solar program is a New Mexico state program. While there are companies that are able to come in from other states, the projects themselves, they connect directly to the PNM grid. So the power that's being generated is distributed to homes, businesses, other consumers directly in this area of the project. In addition to that, all of the power is sold to local consumers, and the project actually provides up to a 50% discount on the energy bills for these low-income households and other residential households, specifically in New Mexico. So anyone who's in PNM service territory can subscribe to the project and receive a discount on their energy bill. The discount ranges varying, it depends on the income qualification, but counties can subscribe, regular residential subscribers can benefit from the project. So the nature of the community solar program is to benefit Native Mexicans. That's the entire purpose of the community solar program. I do absolutely understand the visual impacts of having solar fields there. We have offered in some cases to provide visual screening from the roads and from adjacent properties. In some cases, we'd be happy to explore something like that here. A lot of times it works well if we work directly with the neighbors that are being impacted. So we're happy to explore that as well. When it comes to property value, we've seen a lot of studies that have been done by various county assessors in multiple states. They haven't shown a direct correlation between a decrease in property value or a decrease in sales of residential homes when they're adjacent to these small scale projects. The utility scale projects are giant. They take up like hundreds of acres. This one was sit on about 10 acres. It'll be set back, as you mentioned, 35 feet from the public road. The panels do rotate from east to west, so they follow the sun on tracks. So they are only facing some directions during specific times of the day, so that can affect the visual impacts as well. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any other questions based on the stuff.
Commissioner, questions? So, again, just like I stated, this could not benefit Los Angeles, it could benefit everybody in Albuquerque or Santa Fe or Deming.
The community solar, yeah, so the way the subscription works, it's anyone in PNM service territory. So all the community solar projects function in that way. But when it comes to providing, energy to the grid and having distributed generation that's actively benefiting the Los Lunas, specifically this area. So it's like, the way I explain it is like an electron is an electron. However, that electron is being generated, it's being put onto the grid and it's being utilized by whatever the most nearby load is on the grid. So these homes will be benefiting and receiving electricity directly.
But you're being a little bit deceptive again, because yes, it is one of the grid here, but somebody else is benefiting.
It's a billing mechanism. So basically when the community social project or program, the way it works, anyone who subscribes to it, they get a bill credit on their energy bill from PNM. So it's ultimately it's both an electricity benefit, and then the billing mechanism is how the financial benefit is done. So you're correct, I'm not trying to be deceptive at all, it will, whoever is subscribing to the project, which can be anyone in the PNM service territory, they will receive the financial benefit on their bill.
Any other questions, commissioners? Is, in your experience, have you guys ever offered, like, in these types of situations, free power to those neighbors so that they actually are seeing a direct benefit? Is that something that's available, or?
We haven't offered free power necessarily, but we can certainly subscribe all of these folks at a discounted rate to the projects, under the residential rate class.
Anything else? Gentlemen in the back? Go ahead, please step back up. Yep, see other questions, comments, please?
Thanks, my name is please. Robert Valencia, 133 AT&T Road. So I know for another fact that there's going to be another issue, you know. So I looked at applying for solar as well, back for my own residence, my personal residence, which I know Los Angeles is now Orange County, because there's already so many solars already contributing to PNM. So the ones that are benefiting are these big companies that are, you know, getting these big kickbacks from PNM. So if my neighbors or myself ever do choose to go 100% solar and, you know, pay back toward PNM, once once our residence becomes red, we'll no longer be able to get a kickback from PNM. So if we give all of our, you know, solar benefits to people that don't live here, we gonna benefit whenever we choose to connect to PNM to get a bit kickback from PNM. These guys just see dollar bills that are getting back into their bank. So they're not really helping any of us. Like he said, they're benefiting all PNM. It's not benefiting Valencia County. That's it.
Anybody else? Gentlemen in the back, you wish to any further comments? Again, please don't mistake you in that.
Phoenix at 145 AT&T Road. And like you said, it's a subscription, like everything is always subscription. How much is it cost for us for you to build a solar panel? And he said if they rotate, now they're gonna be rotating when they're to the west. My living room faces the east, so then the sun is going to be reflecting off those panels when they're facing west in the sun. They're gonna be shining right in my front window. I'm gonna have to start closing my blinds. We have plants in our house, we leave the windows open for the plants grow. Well, now we're gonna have to shut them in the evenings because the sun's gonna be reflecting off those panels shining in my front window, in my house. So, I mean, I don't see the benefit. She says it's a benefit, like he said, don't benefit me. I mean, I'm not hooked to the power. I'm already hooked to PNM, and it says if your PNM bill's supposed to go down, it seems like my bill goes up every month, not down, with all these solar panels in the morning. Where's the bill ain't getting cheaper? So I don't know how it's gonna benefit me, how she says.
You wish to address any of those concerns?
I think there's a little confusion just on how the program actually functions with the bill credit, and there's no cost for participating. We sell the power to the subscribers directly at a discounted rate. So say you're paying 10 cents a kilowatt hour to PNM. If you're subscribing to the solar project, you would receive a credit on your energy bill for the power. You would only be paying 9 cents, 8 cents, again, it depends on your income level. You would be paying a discounted rate, so you would only be paying 8 cents a kilowatt hour or 9 cents a kilowatt hour, as opposed to if you're only paying for your energy from PNM, you would be paying 10 cents a kilowatt hour. So the financial savings is directly for folks that are subscribed to the projects. And again, the point of the New Mexico Community Seal Program, and this is a state program that was approved by the state, approved by the New Mexico PRC, is specifically designed to provide bill savings to New Mexicans. That is the full stop, the entire point of the program. We participate in these programs across the country, and they function the same in every single state. Again, the point is to provide bill credit savings to the customers and to the people that live nearby.
Dylan, anything else?
Martin Valencia, 33 Lopez. Gentlemen, we gotta do this the right way. If they weren't benefiting out of this, why would they be building it? Somebody's getting money out of it. Not the customers, not the ones that live around them. They wouldn't be doing this project if money wasn't going into the pot. Let's get real. If you're gonna build a business, you're not gonna build it just to make no money. You're gonna build it because you know you're gonna make money. That's what it's gonna do. Thank you.
Anything you wish to? Anything else on this particular resolution? Ms. Spofford?
Sure, Commissioners, nothing to add. I just did want to know Mr. Valencia's did not receive a letter because they are not within standing. I just wanted to clarify that.
Right, you want to explain what that standing is?
So we do send out public notice to anybody who's withstanding that is allowed to comment. It's at the chairman's discretion to allow anybody beyond that distance to allow them to speak for public comment. Anybody that did receive a letter, we send those out. By statute, we're required to send everybody within 150 feet of the boundary of any property for these types of requests. We do extend that and send it out to 300 feet beyond that. We try to include anybody directly impacted. Sometimes it may or may not hit everybody, but that's why it's always good, like you gentlemen did today, to speak with your neighbors and to allow them and spread the news for what is going on. We do appreciate everybody coming out. These are public hearings, so we do want to hear the public's opinion on these. And we stand for questions.
Any questions for Mr. Bobby?
Thank you.
Okay, item number 19, also a public hearing. This is also a solar field overlay zone number 2026-015. Mr. Bachman.
Commissioners, before you this evening is a request for a solar field overlay zone number 2026-015, District 3, Community Commissioner Moran, BOCC Sparkman, USS Manzano Solar LLC requests a solar field overlay zone SFOZ on the property with the legal description as read on the agenda. This request was also heard on March 24th by the P&Z Commission. At that meeting, it was recommended for approval with a vote of 4-0. At that meeting, there was no one present in favor or in opposition of this request. Once again, the applicant is here to present to you guys this evening, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Bachman? Okay. If there's anybody that's going to speak on this particular zone change, I ask you to please stand to be sworn in.
You swear affirm that this testimony that you will give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of law, so help you God.
Let's see. Okay, the state should interpret today.
Haley Valentine, 1801 California Street, Denver, Colorado. This specific definition is going to be so we can take a look at what's the other.
Yeah, I'm going.
All right. So the USS Manzano project is located on the east side of the river near El Cerro. There will be access off of Manzano Expressway. This parcel is currently zoned as PG for planned development. The surrounding land is owned by Lost Real Estate Holdings LLC. Well, there are currently no occupied structures around this project, but it does appear that much of the area is being planned for residential development. This particular parcel is well suited for the because of the additional load growth that is expected in the area. As I mentioned, having distributed generation resources like this in areas of growth can be an asset to the grid because the energy generated by the project will be used by all of the homes and surrounding businesses. So it's a benefit to the grid when there's load growth expected in the area. Due to the parcel boundaries for this specific site, the project fence will actually be set back about 50 feet from the road, so the panels will be set back an additional 20 feet, so 50, 60, 70, they'll be set back 70 feet from the Zongo Expressway. So a little further setback than the other projects. But yeah, I stand for any questions on this specific.
Commissioner, any questions? Mr. Chair, please.
Mr. Bachman, big is the parcel?
Commissioners, give me just one moment here. Yeah, Commissioner, based on the assessment records, it's approximately 13 acres. I don't have an exact number on that, if you can. If that's not accurate.
Yeah, I believe it's, what we have from the parcel maps is 15 acres.
1-5,
1.5.
right, 1-3 or 1-5.
John, Commissioners, I saw 1-3 on the map. Let me get a more accurate confirmation of that and see what the message is.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman, Commissioners, I apologize. I don't have property profile card. Do you happen to have a copy of the property profile card that you're packing?
I do have it in the I would like to correct myself. I'm seeing on the Valencia Charlie Parks map that is 13.5 acres. Okay.
Any other questions, Commissioners? I don't believe anybody else is going to speak. Mr. Chief, is that correct? Anything else you wish to add?
The only other thing I do want to add is, this project as well as the previous one, the planning and zoning department did ask that we amend the fence, to be the 7-foot chain link. This is for security purposes and also typically we utilize a more of like a farm style fence, just because it tends to fit in more with surrounding land uses, but in this case, planning and zoning requested that we utilize the chain link fence just for security, based on area.
Mr. Baca, is there any legal notices said that on the website?
Chairman, Commissioners, yes, we did send out all legal notices once again to the 300 feet surrounding this property, but we did not receive any opposition or any letters of this request.
Thank you. Anything you wish to add? Alrighty, we'll be making a decision on this after our executive session also. Let's see, we got one more. Item 20 is also a solar field overlay zone 2026-017. This one is Worker Road, south of Highway 6. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to give any testimony on this or speak on this, whether in favor or against it? Are you forgiving us? If you'll please stand to sworn for this one.
You swear to affirm the testimony you'll give in this case with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth and the penalty of law, so help you God.
Chairman, Commissioners, before you this evening is a request for solar field overlay zone 2026-017, District 3, against Commissioner Moran, BOCC Sparkman. USS Mesa Sun Solar LLC requested solar field overlay zone SFOZ on property with the legal description and read on the agenda. Once again, this request was also heard on March 24th. At that meeting, it was also recommended for approval with a vote of 4-0. And this did not have anyone present in opposition or in favor of the request. Once again, we did send out legal notice to the surrounding 300 feet for all property owners. I stand for the questions.
Any questions, Mr. Butler? Okay. Again, but just take that.
Oh, yes, sorry. Katie Valentine, 18 on House Street, Denver, Colorado.
This is again, a snippet of our site plan for the extension solar project. This one is also, currently limited in the project. This one will be a 1.4 to 3 megawatt. It's again, solar PV only. Actually, this one will be on the north side of the project, off of the Arthur Road. Again, parcel size is 10 acres for this one. 35-foot setback from public roads as well as all the property boundaries, a little bit of additional setback on that north side. I think that was used for, the length of the roads and tractors, but, yeah, that's the overview for this one. There were, during the planning and zoning, meeting, it was mentioned that, this road may require some improvements in order to access, this particular parcel. We obviously would be responsible for, facilitating any sort of improvements that would be required to drive, vehicles that are needed for construction, and deliveries of equipment, things like that. As I mentioned before, once construction is complete, the visitation to the site is limited to just a pickup truck, so the vehicle traffic is very minimal once it's operating. So any things that would be required, for the construction period would are.
Any questions? Yeah, I believe there was anybody that will come and speak. I'm just looking at someone to do it. Right, over Lisa. Anything else?
Commissioners, nothing else to add.
Very much, will we make a decision on this trip? Okay, we're going to continue on now with our action items. Item number. Leah, proceeding with the meeting, we're running out of power over here. So we're in a strange facility. The other facilities are not just prepared to tell us. So you'll just bear with us shortly, but we appreciate that. You guys, I think it's pretty great. Good. No, you're already done.
They're so nice. Figure out all the meaningful understanding. Yeah.
That's it, yeah. I mean, I used to do it. When I used to have. He does read books. Do some of their.
We're back in operation. You guys ready? Is everybody ready here? Okay. Okay, continue on now with our action items. Action item 21 is approval of the resolution. It's a 2020-2030 infrastructure capital improvement plan. I know we wrote down this earlier, that was my mistake. But we'll go ahead and being glad with the agenda. Are there any questions on that for Manager Van or Ms. Andy? So recommendation,
Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion to approve with the amendments of changing number 28 to number 13, moving everything else down.
Second.
A motion for approval for Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Berry, and discussion on the motion in the second. Commissioner vote? Yes. Commissioner Gonzalez vote? Yes. Commissioner Berry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker vote? Yes. Vote yes, it's approved. Item 22, oh, sorry.
Chairman, I'd like to put the 2026-35.
Thank you. Okay, item 22, approval of a resolution adopting the 2028-2032 infrastructure capital improvement plan for OAP. Ms. Aguilar, anything you wish to add to that?
I have nothing to add. Yeah, just like you know what was presented earlier.
Any questions? Seeing none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, let's make a motion to approve.
Right. A motion for Commissioner Gonzalez, second for approval, second by Commissioner Richardson, any discussion on the motion in the second. Seeing none, Commissioner Richardson vote? Yes. Commissioner Gonzalez vote? Yes. Commissioner Berry votes?
Yes.
Parker vote?
Yes.
Vote yes, it's approved. Thank you.
Chairman, motion that resolution 2026-36.
Okay. Approval of ordinance amending chapter 110 of the Valencia County Code of Ordinances, Mr. Nance.
Mr. Chairman, member of the commission, this is the ordinance that deals with business and licensing, business licenses and business registrations, and I recommend it.
Any questions for Mr. Nance? Any minute recommendation, please?
Mr. Chair, let's make a motion to approve.
Second. Have a motion for approval for Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Berry, discussion on the motion of the second. None, Commissioner Richardson vote? Yes. Commissioner Gonzalez vote? Yes. Commissioner Berry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, it's approved.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this ordinance is 2026-3.
37. Oh, sorry. Real quick. Okay, item 24, approval of ordinance, amending chapter 154 of the Valencia County Code of Ordinances. Mr. Buckler.
Chairman Commissioners, request for this evening is for approval of the ordinance amending chapter 154 of the Valencia County Code of Ordinances. This is to deal with childcare and multi-generational housing. This was heard earlier during public hearing. I recommend for approval and I stand for any questions.
Any questions about the Buckler? Seeing none, recommendation please. Mr. Chair, let's make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have motion for approval for Commissioner Gazelle, second by Commissioner Barry. Any discussion on motion of the second? None, Commissioner Richardson vote? Yes. Commissioner Gazelle vote? Yes. Commissioner Barry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker vote? Yes. I vote yes, it's approved. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this ordinance is 2026-04.
Okay, this evening we do have the executive session. Mr. Danforth, you can advance that.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, pursuant to section 1015-1, the following matters may be discussed in closed session. Pursuant to 1015-1H3, administrative adjudicatory proceedings, zone change 2618, 2619, solar field overlay zones 2614, 2615, and 2617. Under property, 1015-1H8, district attorney office lease, county real property in Rancho Rio Grande, county real property in Canyon Del Rio, and county real property in section 11, township 6 north, section 2, township 6 north, and section 11, township 6 north.
Need a motion to go into executive session for state police, please.
So moved.
Second, motion for Commissioner Barry, second by Commissioner Gazelle, and discussion on motion of the second. Commissioner Richardson vote? Yes. Commissioner Gazelle vote? Yes. Commissioner Barry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker vote?
Yes.
But yes, we will be throwing out shortly. I think we're going. Right. They're gonna do launch. Yeah.
Chairman, Commissioners, you are live.
Thank you. Okay, this time I need a motion to reconvene regular session, please. So moved. We have a motion from Mr. Gazelle, second by Mr. Barry, any discussion on the motion of the second? You know, Commissioner Richardson vote? Yes. Mr. Gazelle vote? Yes. Mr. Barry vote?
Yes.
Mr. Parker vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Matthew, to summarize the items discussed in closed session, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the items discussed in closed session were limited to those in the motion for closure, specifically zone changes 2026-18 and 2026-19, solar field overlay zone changes 2614, 2615, and 2617. Under real property, district attorney office lease, county real property in Rancho Rio Grande, county real property Canyon Del Oro, and property in section 11, township 6 north, section 2, township 6 north, and section 11, township 6 north.
No final action is taken.
I need a motion to that effect, please.
So moved. Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner, very second by Commissioner Richardson, discussion on the motion second. None, Commissioner Richardson vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Spudler vote? Yes. Commissioner Berry vote?
Yes.
Parker vote?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on with our action items at this time. Item number 25, approval of the zone change number 2026-018, Mr. Baca.
Good evening, County Commissioners. Before you is a request for the approval of zone change number 2026-018. This is District 1, P and Z Commissioner Aguilar, Board of County Commissioners Sice. This was heard earlier during public hearing, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Baca? Yeah, being none, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the findings of planning and zoning and approve the zone changes presented this evening.
Second.
A motion by myself, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion, the second? There being none. Commissioner Richardson vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Desire vote? Yes. Commissioner Berry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, is approved. Item number 26, approval of zone change 2026-019, Mr. Baca.
Chairman Commissioner, before you is the request for approval of zone change number 2026-019. This is in District 3, P and Z Commissioner Moran, Board of County Commissioner Sparkman. This was heard earlier during public hearing, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Baca? Yeah, Commissioner Spark in your district, recommendation please.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve with a condition that after 6 months, tenants have to vacate the property for a period of time.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion on the motion in a second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Desire vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, it's approved. Item 27. Approval of a solar field overlay zone 2026-014. Mr. Baca.
Chairman Commissioners, before you is a request for the approval of solar field overlay zone number 2026-014. This is in District 4, P and Z Commissioner Sublette, Board of County Commission Gazelle. This was heard earlier in public hearing as well, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Baca? If none, Commissioner Gazelle, this is your district recommendation.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to disapprove.
Second.
Have a motion to not approve this request by Commissioner Gazelle, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion in the second? If none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Gazelle, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Parker, your vote?
Yes.
I vote yes, it is not approved. Item 28, approval of the solar field overlay zone number 2026-015. Pocket.
Chairman Commissioners, before you is a request for the approval of solar field overlay zone 2026-015. This is in District 3, P and Z Commissioner Moran, Board of County Commission Sparkman. This was also heard earlier in public hearing, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Pocket? None. This is Commissioner Sparkman's district. Do you have a recommendation, sir?
Mr. Chairman, I move to deny the solar overlay zone. Second.
You have a motion to deny the solar overlay zone by Commissioner Sparkman, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion of the second? None. Commissioner Richardson vote?
No.
Commissioner Zelli vote?
No.
Commissioner Berry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, it is disapproved. Okay. The item 30, direction to staff regarding district attorney's office lease.
Chairman Commissioners, we had one more.
Oh, did we? I'm sorry. I apologize. Approval of the solar field overlay zone 2026-17. Thank you, Scott. Okay.
Chairman Commissioners, before you is a request for the approval of solar field overlay zone number 2026-017. This is in District 3 as well, Planning and Zoning Commissioner Moran, Board of County Commission Sparkman. This was also heard earlier during public hearing, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Baca? Being none, Mr. Parks, Commissioner Parker, this is your district again, recommendation.
I move to approve the solar overlay zone. Second.
I have a motion for approval for Commissioner Sparkman, second by Commissioner Berry. Any discussion on the motion in the second? Being none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Desire vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparkman, your vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, it is approved. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks, sorry. Okay, now item number 30, direction to staff regarding district attorney's office lease, Mr. Cato.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I would seek authority to accept the LOI that's provided in reference to the proposed lease. And to authorize staff to negotiate the terms of the lease agreement with the lessor.
Any questions of Mr. Page? Seeing none, the recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second, we have a motion for approval by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Richardson, any discussion on the motion in a second? Seeing none, Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez, your vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Barry, your vote?
Yes.
Ms. Parker, your vote?
Yes.
Vote yes. That is approved. Okay, item 31, direction to staff and delegation of authority for the sale of real property. You got Manager.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I would make a recommendation, to approve, the authority to sell the real property as discussed in the executive session.
Their recommendation, Commissioner, or any discussion on the, any questions, Mr. Evander? Accepting none, recommendation, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move to approve as presented by Manager.
Second. We have a motion for approval for Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Gazelle, any discussion on the motion and second. And then Commissioner Richardson, your vote?
Yes.
Sorry, vote? Yes. Mr. Barry, vote?
Yes.
Parker, your vote?
Yeah.
I vote yes, it is approved. We have some upcoming meetings to announce, June 3rd, 2026, business meeting, 5 P M. This one will be in the chamber, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that'll be in Commissioner Chambers, that'll also be via Facebook Live. June the 9th, we have a Vallejo meeting. And it's June 9th, and that'll be at the Fire Administration Building. June the 11th, we will have a special meeting, it'll be a canvas meeting and business meeting, that'll be at 5 P M. In the commission chamber, it'll also be Facebook Live. And June the 24th, we will have public hearing, business meeting at 5 P M. In the chambers and also via Facebook Live. Are there any closing comments from fellow commissioners?
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Chair, just because it's on the agenda, the June 17th meeting is changed to that June 24th.
Thank you for that.
And then, just a quick thank you to, all the staff that, made this meeting, this room possible. It was kind of an all-day event to get chairs and, the speakers and microphones and TVs going, so, I want to thank IT, gals in my office, safety, believe even the clerk's office brought in many of the chairs, so, anybody that had a hand in making this meeting possible, I thank you all.
Okay, any other comments, any other close down before we adjourn?
Mr. Chair, please, just wanted to thank all of the veterans in honor of Memorial Day coming up. Thank you to all the veterans and for all the sacrifices they put in.
Thank you for acknowledging that. Anything else, commissioners? Being none, you're adjourned. Thank all of you.